past and burdened by this disturbing family development, Colleen Foy tries to make sense out of her newfound life, but a series of unfortunate events cause her world to spiral out of control. So it just looks like any other horror movie, and like I get chills every time I watch it. I watch it like 10 times. But it's such a good trailer, and it's so engaging, and then at the end they have that message, and you're like, this is also part of the campaign.
So where did they show it?
I don't remember reading that. I don't know if it was on TV or just more. A lot of what they did was on their YouTube channel, so it was probably on there and maybe try to do kind of viral with the teens. And then, you know what? And then phase 2, so phase 1 is more 2006, and then phase 2 moved into 2007 and 2008. They were trying to not only raise awareness about it now, but actually change perceptions about teen parenthood, and then actually change those teen behaviors by connecting them to resources. So you can see on the next slide, babycanwait.com, this is their homepage, and you can see it's very targeted toward those teens with the color choices and the very easy to use layout and the material that they chose, the pictures. So this would just be the homepage, and you can see you have all these different quick links that teens might visit the website for these reasons. Move on to the next one. This is the Am I Pregnant page, so they have symptoms, pregnancy tests, everything that teens could need if they were coming to this website for that reason. And then they also had a page all about birth control and all the methods of pregnancy prevention that were at your disposal. They also had information about healthy relationships and dating violence, like communication, trust, respect. You know, really trying to build this campaign from the beginning, so it's not just am I pregnant, but it's all the way back to those healthy relationships. And finally, they had a lot of extensive resources and websites for these teens so that all their questions could be answered, not just the ones that the campaign team had thought of. They also issued multiple hundreds of pages in this toolkit for parents so that they could start those discussions with their children. You can go to the next one. You can see in the very beginning of the packet, they have information for these parents. It says, what most influences teens about decisions about sex? And 46% of teens said parents were the most important factor. So they were really trying to target that audience, those parents who could really help them with their objective to reach the teens. So they have information. Let me go to the next one. They had step-by-step instructions for these parents, tips. How do you talk to your teens about this? What other behaviors should you be looking for? Discourage early, frequent, and steady dating. Know what your teens are reading, watching. What are they doing on TV? What are they doing on the internet? And then they also pulled resources from other sources. So they knew that within their limitations, they couldn't create everything that they wanted to share with these parents, but they created a substantial amount of information. And then they also linked to outside resources like this one. They didn't create this, but they have communication guidelines for parents and caregivers. So they're really trying to, emphasize everything they have and give it to the parents. So we have another participation opportunity. We actually have a game for you guys to play to discover what does it cost to have a baby. So does anyone want to volunteer to play our game? It's really easy, I promise. Sure, come on.
I can tell you right now it costs a lot.
You mean like in the long run, or just like?
Well, this game actually only figures it out for the 1 year.
So for
the first year.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
This was actually on the babycanwait.com. That's where we found the quiz. So how much does a month's supply of medicine and first aid cost? Do you have a guess?
32.
32? It's actually 23. There are 10 questions. They all talk about different categories. What's the average cost of a crib?
Depends on where you go.
170? It's actually 230.
If you go to Pottery Barn, like 800.
How much does 1 month's supply of prenatal vitamins cost?
You can phone a friend if you want. 21.
21? 16. It's really hard. It's really hard. How much does the month's supply of infant formula cost?
25.
$20 a container, and a container will get you through about, I would say, 4 or 5 days, 3 days. That adds up fast.
What does the average car seat cost?
20.
Oh, yeah.
I trust you.
It really does.
Yeah, depending on the brand.
Month's worth of toys, books, media. This is obviously depending on what you buy.
I say 85.
Disposable diapers.
One more, you got this.
42.
72. Average cost of a high chair? 135.
Okay, we all feel it.
Clothing?
56.
And last one, monthly checkups while pregnant.
1,000.
5,000. But you do get baby ball. Thanks. So for this website, they had all kinds of resources like this, and they actually utilized the Medical College of Wisconsin and the Children's Hospital of Wisconsin so that they could get youth-focused and medically accurate information out to these teens. And they wanted to, talk about pregnancy prevention and healthy relationships. So that was just one of the.
You know what they didn't actually have on there that I'm shocked they didn't have on there? Childcare. Childcare is insanely expensive, so I'm really surprised they didn't have that as part of their. But I guess the point they're trying to make too is that a lot of teens are not, they're just gonna drop out of high school and take care of the baby, so they're not.
This is all those costs of like the pregnancy itself, the doctor's visits. So with this, when we first took the quiz, we were wondering, well, why isn't there a grand total or something? Can you hit the message home? But they actually did issue a facilitator's guide to taking this quiz. So they have, script for the parents. I'm sure that most of the parents didn't follow it directly. But they had, if your teen asks, well, where are these numbers even coming from? They have like itemized lists of what kind of things would go into each category and where they're getting the numbers. So you can see they went through every category, and then the next one. At the end, they had the totals for each section and the totals overall for the first year of having a baby, whether it's different if you're breastfeeding or formula feeding. And they also had right after the total cost, they had a comparison with the cost of abstinence, which is $0, cost of condoms, $3 to $15, and birth control,
Wow.
$5 to $5.50 per month. So they're really trying to tell teens, look at this, look at the difference that the decision that you're making. It's very clear when you put it in numbers. So in phase 2, they also were targeting those adult males and trying to show them that statutory rape is something that's ugly and wrong and change the perception in this community. So this ad was another shock ad targeting the entire community, predator and prey, and it's talking about how it is statutory rape, and we need to raise awareness about that in this community. And another shock advertising they did was a little different. It says, "One day the man of my dreams will sweep me off my feet and rape me. An older man who sleeps with an underage girl isn't a prince, he's a rapist. And someday my true love will use me for sex and move on to his next victim. A teenage girl and an older man, it may not be everything you dreamed of." And again, hitting the message home with that babyandwait.com.
So let me ask you this, what was the question you might not have been able to find this information, but from the public, from the media, you said the bloggers were talking about some of those ads, but these are some incredibly shocking tactics.
They said that, well, I think the ad agency said, we knew we were going to be called, avant-garde.
Right.
We knew these were going to be shocking, but we felt like this is what we had to do to reach this lax community that didn't care. We have to, put it in your face.
They
So-
felt like it was such a critical issue, an important issue, that they kind of just went for it.
They're
Like,
willing to take the risk.
even if, they were willing to take the risk, even if it did, offend some people. But, I mean, even if it offended, it still got their attention.
Well, again, I think the point, and y'all made this very clear, but it's not just about the teen pregnancy, it's about the poverty, it's about the crime, it's about that cycle. And again, this was not a minor problem in Milwaukee, it was a major problem over a number of years and getting worse.
Definitely. The second in the country is pretty bad.
Yeah.